In this tutorial, I'm going to walk you through getting started using Stable Diffusion from Maya using the Stability SDK. By the end of this tutorial, you should be able to run a text prompt from within Maya, receive a generated image from Stable Diffusion, then apply that image to an object's texture map in Maya. Firstly, I want to acknowledge this tutorial by One Little Coder that I myself use just to get the basics down before adding some additional steps to get working inside of Maya, which I'll show you in this tutorial. So the Stability SDK, you can find documentation on Stability AI's GitHub. We will also be using code in that GitHub just to access the API. So we will be using Maya 2023 for this. Maya 2022 should also work. So what's great about Maya 2022 and 2023 is they use Python 3, and they also include pip, which lets us easily kind of pip install the packages we need. You can find more documentation about that on the Maya documentation site. So first, I'll pop over to a terminal, and to pip install, we need to use Maya's Python interpreter, mayapy. So on a Mac, this is what that looks like. So you sort of navigate to mayapy, which you can find here. If you're on PC, you can find the commands again on the documentation here. And then I'll just do a pip list command to show you kind of what that looks like. I might have a couple extra packages in here, but it should look something like this. So all we need to install to get started is the Stability SDK. And then if I do another pip list, you'll see we got a couple more packages, including Stability SDK, Pillow, which we'll use for image processing, and a few more. So next, let's open up Maya. And in Maya, I'm going to open the script editor, and in a Python tab, I'm going to do an import from Pillow. And from the Stability SDK, I'm going to import client. And then I'm just going to run these to make sure everything installed properly. If you don't see any errors, that's a good sign. And then next, I'm going to set up a scene that'll give us just a polygon plane with a texture map that we can assign our images to, and this will just help us get started in Maya. So I'm going to just add a normal polygon plane, scale it up. I'm going to turn the grid off to make it easier to see. And then go to Windows, rendering editors, open the Hypershade. And then I'm going to add an Arnold standard surface shader. And then apply that to our plane here. Right click, apply to viewport selection. I'm going to go to the color input on our standard surface shader, and it's going to give me a couple options of things I can add as input, and I'm going to choose file. And this file here is what we're gonna save our image from Stable Diffusion, and then I'll show you how to in Python and Maya adjust this image name to call that image. So that should be all the setup we need for now. I'm going to go back into the script editor, and from the stability demo, we can just kind of copy and paste a lot of this code here, and then reuse that. Well, first I'm gonna import, do a few more imports. I'm going to import getPass, import OS, import IO, and import warnings. And then I'm going to add an additional Stability SDK import from the documentation, which is the generation here. And then lastly, I'm going to import PyML from Maya, or to work with Maya, rather. So firstly, we're going to add an environment variable with our API key, and this will let us kind of connect to the server. So to get an API key, you go to dreamstudio.ai, sign up for an account, And then in your account settings or in your membership settings, go to API key. This will give you a key. So I'm going to copy my key, run all of these here, add an S to warnings, import all of these here, and then I'm going to enter my key. And then that now set up my environment variable. I'm going to comment that out so we don't have to do that again. And then next I'm going to do a couple Maya specific things to help us get our image directory so we can save our images. All right, so I'm gonna create a variable to store our image directory, and I'm gonna get that from the workspace command, PyML workspace command, and use the file rule entry on the source images. So this gets the directory assigned to source images. So if I run that, you'll see this will give a relative path to Maya's the project kind of directory you have set up. We want a absolute path to save our images to, so we can get that by using the workspace command with the flag expand name. Image dir, and then we run that so you can see the full path there, and I have my project set up to just kind of a project folder. Next, we will create an image name to save. I'm just going to call this Gen 0. We can do some fancier handling if we do multiple images, but for now we'll just generate one. And then from the Stability SDK samples, I'm going to copy and paste this line. And this is basically what connects our instance of Maya here to the Stability server. So that looks good. Got an open channel. And then we can write a prompt. Let's start by just making a texture. So we'll do a brushed metal texture with light rust. And then next I will copy and paste some more code from the documentation here. A couple notes, the generate command here is where you'll find additional flags you can add if you want to change the image resolution, if you want to change the generation seed, if you want to increase the number of images you generate, you can do that with all their flags in the documentation here. So for now, we'll just do a basic generation with one image, and then we need to make a few changes in this right here. Instead of using the display command here from a package we didn't install, we're going to add some Maya code to assign that image to our texture map. So first, we're going to use the pillow save method here, and the path that we're going to give it is that image directory we found, and then join that with the image name we assembled up here. And then lastly, what we're going to do is use the PyML setAttr command with our texture image name. So if we go into back into our hypershade, so this is named file 1. We can name this anything. So we can do Stable Diffusion SD underscore image, copy that name, and then put that here. So on the object in Maya named SD underscore image, on the file texture name attribute, we are going to set the value to the image name, which will actually make that a little more friendly there. And then I'm going to make this window smaller so we can see what's going on here. Actually dock that. My outliner. And then run this. And it looks like I misnamed one of my variables here, the input prompt. So we'll fix that. Try it again, and then turn on our texture view after this thinks for a little bit. And there we go. If we want another texture, we can run this again. And there we go. We have a texture map. Now, if we want to do something that is a little bit different than a texture, we can try, let's pretend this is an image plane and we want to generate maybe a top view of a concept model that we want to model over. So let's change the prompt to something like hard surface model of a mechanical butterfly. Let's do concept art, render, black and white, top view. Let's see what that gives us. And there's some concept art we could maybe model over, use that. Let's try to generate another one for fun. And then let's say we want to do something like a quick digital map painting as a background. We can do something like matte painting of the planet, and then let's make up a completely made up planet name here for fun. Planet Florgenpuff. And there we go. I have a quick digital map painting. Let's try another one. And that's it. So I think hopefully that'll get you started, and there are a ton of things we can do from here. So excited to see if anyone picks this up, uses it, does something new. Share it with me. I'd love to see it. Thanks. Bye.